Kia ora team, Noah Willoff here, host of the Beyond the Surface podcast. Thanks so much for tuning into today's episode. Before you get into this juicy conversation, please make sure you go check out our official sponsor of the podcast, Moana Road. They really have something for everyone. They've got sunglasses, a whole range of awesome products. So check out their website and the link in the description below and support Moana Road because it also supports the podcast and helps us get more of the guests on that you love. Hope you enjoy this episode. Cheers. Macey, thanks for jumping on.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have you here. It's great you got here. We were had a bit of technical difficulties getting you to the podcast location, but you're here now, so that's great.
Yep, oh, glad.
It's good. Hey, I think you've got a really fascinating story, and doing some research on you on the lead up to having you on the pod, I learned that you left school in year 13 to go pursue football.
Yes.
And it's a crazy decision, right? Especially where society is focusing you to probably go to university or get a job, do all of that stuff that a normal 18, 17-year-old would. So yeah, I was keen to sort of go back to you in sort of high school and leading up to that decision to leave your high school to actually pursue football as your career.
Yeah. How did you find that?
Did my research.
Yeah. I went to high school, Rangiora High School.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Albany Senior in Auckland, which was a move for my football to go to this FFDP program, which is Ferns development.
Yep.
And when I got there, I basically just didn't like Auckland.
True. Shout out Auckland.
It was really hard moving schools. I didn't really have any friends. I was living with my uncle, but he was away a lot for the Air Force. So I was kind of I got really independent really fast.
True.
And I decided myself that I wanted to be a football player and I would train and not go to school. So that's basically what happened and how I ended up leaving, because I slowly started going to training more and more and leaving school. Yeah. Which I kind of regret because, I regret because I wish I'd finished school and stuff, but it's worked out well, I guess.
Why do you think you regret it?
Just because I think there's a lot to take from school, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying that I finished school. Honestly, yeah. It doesn't, in the long run, it doesn't really matter that much to me, but yeah, it would have been good to finish school, and yeah.
It's I think it's such a cool part of your story, I think, because
really?
I've never heard of many, even from interviewing rugby players, I haven't really heard many that have left school early to pursue that full time.
Yeah.
And there's so much risk and reward sort of baked into it. Did you have good backing from your family and friends making that decision, or your school?
Well, when I left Rangiora to go to Albany, I was leaving all my friends and they were gutted, but they were like, yeah, you need to go do your thing. And then when I was starting to drop out in Albany, my parents just kind of let it happen, I guess.
Wow.
They weren't yeah, it's fine, but they weren't you've got to stay in school. So I kind of just made that decision myself.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And do you still remember the conversation that you had with your parents where you brought that up, that, hey, I want to actually stop going and not finish year 13?
I don't. You'll find I have a terrible memory. So I don't really remember, but nothing they weren't really very strict on me at all. And I think they kind of trusted me, and that if I was going to leave school and pursue football, I would do it 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. What do you think that says about how you view risk? Because that is a huge potential risk, right? What if things didn't work out the way they had, and then you might not have NCA level 3.
Yes.
Did you view it? Did you view it that way at all? Or
I think this is a blessing and a curse about me. I don't think too far into the future.
Nice, just go
and
with it.
I'm kind of go with the flow and trust myself that things will turn out right. And
nice,
so.
And they bloody have as well.
Thank you.
So what does that next sort of year look like for you? I think you had a few challenges as well, sort of making a couple of teams.
Definitely.
What did that next sort of 12, 18 months look like for you?
So when I decided to leave school, it was kind of around the time COVID was happening. So I ended up going home for COVID, and then during that time I was like, okay, what do I want to do? Because I want to be a professional footballer.
Yep.
So I ended up actually coming out here to Ole in Porirua.
Nice.
And trained with the boys academy there, and that was just amazing. I learned so much at Ole Academy, and I'm so grateful to all the people who kind of took me in around there. But so yeah, I spent, I want to say, a year, 2 years at Ole, and yeah, they were amazing. And then next up for me was under 20s, and I had, after Ole, I'd gone to the Phoenix Academy, who I was really lucky to get into that academy as well. Both amazing. And yeah, I made under 20s but didn't play any games, which was really hard for me at the time. But honestly, looking back, it was probably a good thing for me. I learned a lot, and I think it pushed me harder to be like, I want to be out there playing, and I had to sit and watch and feel what that was like, and I didn't want to feel it again. Yeah,
that must be so hard, like watching all your teammates you're like training with, and then comes to game day, and you're just, sitting on the bench, just watching them, having a great time, and just having like itchy teeth.
Yeah, I think around that time, it was also, when I joined the academy, it was also around the time the women's Phoenix team was getting made. And so I was watching all my mates like from Christchurch and around like the New Zealand scene make that team, and it was just, it wasn't my time, but it definitely made me work hard for it.
100%. And like, do you feel like with your career, like it's come like timing wise, like it's actually worked out really well with like the Phoenix now being, the female Wellington Phoenix being in the A-League, and like this sort of new birth of women's football across Aotearoa? Like, do you feel like your story might have been different if you were born like 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so lucky with how the game's grown. And like, if you look at a player like Flea, who I looked up to when I was younger, and she didn't have the Phoenix women's team. She does now, and she's balling now in the Phoenix women's, but yeah, she didn't have that. So I'm really grateful. And even when I was growing up, I used to watch the men's Phoenix team, and I didn't see the women's Phoenix team and have like idols to look up to and say, I want to play like her, or I want to play like him.
Yeah, so true.
It's seeing the girls come down to the games. So when I played in Phoenix, it was like really cool for me. I loved that. Yeah,
I think it's so like what makes your story like more fascinating is like you also didn't have like much visibility, so like local professional, probably like female footballers who like are doing the thing that you're wanting to do. Because you're right, it's so hard to like be something if you can't even see it.
Yeah, I think I was really lucky. My parents always said it will come. Like they're like, a girls' team will come and you'll play in it. Like, and I think that kind of kept hope alive for me that I could do that.
That's awesome. And I saw a really cool photo of you as like, I don't know, you must have been like 6, walking out with Andrew Durante. And your face is just like, whoa, Westpac Stadium at the time, and it's crazy.
That was crazy. I remember I had to kick a ball through like a hole. It was like this challenge thing to get in the drawer to do that. And
that's how you got to walk out with him?
Yeah, so I kicked it in the hole, and I went and stood with my dad, and he's like, I just have this feeling it's going to be you. And then it was so weird.
Crazy.
But yeah, I was stoked. I was so stoked.
Like, isn't that amazing? And then you like, fast forward years later, you're doing that same walk.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make you feel? Like you've lived up your dream into reality?
Yeah, it's cool. I'm grateful I can do it and that I have the opportunity.
It's epic. And I think that was such an OG Phoenix team. You're like Leo Bertos. Who else was in there? Andrew Durante.
Ben Sigmund.
Siggy.
Yes.
So one of my mates, he's like a massive FIFA nerd, and he said like on FIFA, Siggy had like 95 jumping.
Really?
I was like, surely that can't be true.
So
it's like
random.
Ronaldo tech.
Yeah.
Like, How does it even work?
Yeah. What?
And who was the keeper? Was it Mark? Was it Paston? No.
Oh,
No, who was the goalkeeper?
I can't remember.
And he saved that penalty against in the World Cup.
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
Was it Mark Pearson?
It might have been. Or Glenn Moss? No.
No.
Anyway. One of those.
Honestly, I just loved Andrew and Siggy. They were my...
Yeah.
Them.
They're cool. And like, what's because you're at the Wellington Phoenix like academy for a number of years.
Yeah.
They've now developed like some pretty epic players with yourself and like Alex. Like, what's the sort of secret sauce that they've got there?
I don't know. I think my journey when I came into the academy, I was very lucky. I sat down before coming into the academy with Paul Temple, and he was like, what are your goals? And I was like, oh, I think I want to be a professional footballer. Like, I wasn't really sure. And he was like, all right, like, come train, we'll see. And fast forward, I actually remember I finished the training and I broke down to him. I was probably on my period or something. I don't know. But he basically said to me, like, no, I kind of believed in myself, but I had games where I'd play bad and I'd be like, no, I'm not supposed to be a footballer. Like, there was always a lot of doubt there. And after that conversation with Paul, when I broke down, he basically just told me he believed in me and that I could do it if I really wanted to do it. I could be a professional footballer, but I had to put the work in and, yeah, really give it my best shot. And from then, he helped me do that. He had one-on-one sessions with me. He obviously grew the girls' academy. He took them on Wednesday nights for games. So I'm so grateful to Paul Temple for that.
Shout out Paul.
Yeah, shout out Paul.
Shout out Paul.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's incredible. And would you say, has there been like anyone else that's been like a particular like role model, like a role model for you in your early career?
Players?
Yeah, players, coaches, anyone really.
I've honestly had so many people on my journey. Like, I remember my coach when I first started playing Ash McDonald, he made me love the game so much. He made it so much fun.
That's
so
good.
He's a big, he was a big person in my journey. There's been so many, the coaches at Olay, Tori. When I came to the Phoenix Academy, I had this amazing S&C, Izzy Coombs, who just, I think, took my game to another level. So I'm really grateful to her. Katie. I could honestly just sit here and go on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And what was it like for you? So you did how many years at the academy?
Oh, gosh. Like 2, maybe?
2,
3.
And then you had a season at the Knicks. What was it like for you, I guess, landing that first like professional contract? That must be pretty surreal.
Yeah, that was after a couple of years with Paul and that Wednesday night Phoenix Academy team, and there was kind of whispers that he would become the A-League coach, and so I knew if he'd made it, like, I knew how much he believed in me and that he really believed I could be a professional footballer. So that was really, it kept hope alive for me and drove me to train hard all that academy season. So I was ready when the chance came. Yeah. So yeah, I was lucky with that. Yeah.
Epic. That's mean. Like, I guess like life happens like so fast at us all the time, eh? It's like you never really get the opportunity to like sit back and like reflect on like where you are now. Yeah. Is there any like do you feel like you're good at like sort of smelling the roses as you know you progress and have transfers and like develop your career?
I actually really like that saying, stop to smell the flowers.
Yeah, stop to smell the roses.
Yeah. In the past, no. I think it's only recently I've started like trying to appreciate moments and stop and look around. Yeah. But it's definitely, I know I've been terrible at it in the past.
Yeah, it's hard to do, eh? It's definitely pretty tough. And like when it comes to like your first season at the Knicks as well, like was there anything in particular that was pretty interesting from like a professional standpoint that was maybe different to sort of life as like an academy player?
Yeah. I think I had this idea in my head when I was growing up, and actually probably my whole time without being a professional footballer, that it was this amazing, it is an amazing thing, but like as you're a superstar now, or so reality hit me kind of hard when I first started being a professional footballer. It was like, obviously at the Knicks you're not earning that much money, like it's tight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and when football's your job and you're trying to make a team every week, the pressure. I definitely my first season, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I wasn't very good at balancing life. I was a perfectionist. I'm still working on these things also. But yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster season. A lot of highs, a lot of lows. Yeah. But I'm obviously so grateful for it because it's made me learn a lot.
Yeah, that's incredible. And like, how would you sort of describe, you mentioned like you're a bit of a perfectionist. Like, what are the sort of good elements of being a perfectionist that come out in training, but also like what are some of the bad parts of being a perfectionist? Because it must be a bit of a like double-sided coin.
The good parts, I try and do everything to the best of my ability, and when I'm not good at something, like free kicks, I'll take them over and over again until I can hit it in the top corner. And then the bad bits, I think when you're perfect, or in my case, when I put so much pressure on something to be perfect, then it kind of almost makes me procrastinate more about doing it, or not. Yeah,
I get that as well.
Whereas I just need to go for it, not have those worries. That doesn't need to be 100% all the time. I can let myself run slower that day, or
and then you get your sort of like news around your transfer over to Utah. Talk us through like, what is the logistics that go around behind the scenes with like securing a transfer to a foreign club? Like, does your manager just give you a ring, like, Macey, you're moving? Like, what does that situation look like for people that don't understand it?
Yeah, so I got that call, I think it was the day before the last game of the Phoenix season. And my mum and dad were coming for the last game, so I was actually out for lunch with them, which was cool. And my agent just gave me a ring and said, hey, Utah are interested in you. I was like, who? I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, the NWSL. And that was like, that was crazy for me, because I don't think I'd ever really thought about that. I've always wanted to play for Liverpool.
I love Liverpool.
So
they're my team as well.
Yes, let's go.
The best.
But yeah, it was crazy. And then he basically said, you have a couple of weeks, like, do some thinking and get back to me. And
crazy. So they move pretty quick. Like, if there's an offer there, you've got to take it within the next sort of couple of weeks.
Yeah, they wanted an answer pretty quick.
Crazy. And it turns out to be it was like the biggest transfer in like A-League history.
Something like that.
Which is incredible. Like, that's nuts.
Thank you.
Can you disclose what the figure is?
I don't even know.
No, don't even tell
I'm
you.
pretty sure it's out on the internet.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Is it not?
I couldn't find it.
Sorry.
$100 million or something.
Oh gosh, it wouldn't have been that much.
And like, does that money go to the club?
Yeah. But the owners put in so much money. I think it's just like 10 cents back in their pocket kind of thing.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
Far out. That's incredible. And like, what has life been like for you living over abroad in the States? Like, massive culture shock, especially like you've probably been living by yourself for many years, like away from your family.
Yeah.
But yeah, what is that like, moving and settling into like a brand new city?
Crazy. Obviously never moved across or like anywhere else in the world before. So yeah, culture shock. Americans are a little crazy. Just kidding. I love you guys. I'm so sorry.
You get heaps of DMs now. Like, Macey, I thought we were friends.
Nah, it's been awesome. Like, America, they've put in so much money into the game, and really, like, women's sports over there is just, it's so much further ahead than here, which I'm so grateful to be a part of that and use the facilities, be playing games with that atmosphere. I'm so lucky. But yeah, my teammates are awesome. Utah is beautiful. The mountains are insane.
Unreal.
So yeah, I'm lucky.
What do you think has been like the biggest difference from like a cultural perspective from like Kiwis, laid back, chill?
Yeah,
mate.
That's what it is. It's just we're so much more chill over here.
Yeah.
It's like over there, get the work done.
Is it the pace of everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Love it though. It's good. It's good for me to.
That's cool. And yeah, is it tough? Like, do you feel much? I could imagine with a massive you know, you make sort of A-League history, signed to one of the biggest leagues in the world. Is there any like feelings of like imposter syndrome that sort of creep in?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My first couple of weeks in Utah, I was like, what am I doing here? I'm not meant to be here. And I think that I talked about this with Paul recently. I think I was trying to do everything so perfectly and forgetting why I was picked, because like when I play myself with freedom, that's when I play my best. And I was just trying to do everything exactly perfect and not just in the flow with myself, I guess. Yeah,
it must be. I think particularly for like younger athletes, and I've had this chat with like different rugby players that have come on, and you know, like especially as you're starting out your career, like if you have a shit game, that could potentially like be your season over or your contract's like done. It's like the pressure and expectations that you put on yourself to perform must be so tight, and like the margin for error is so small. Like how do you, Macey, like deal with pressure? Are you usually quite like cool, calm, collected?
Actually when I go into games, I don't actually put too much pressure on myself. I think I try to think of it's just another game. And yeah, that's when I'm my best, is when I can just trust myself and play with freedom.
Yeah, that's, you want to be in that like sort of flow state, eh?
Yes.
That's the way to do it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Has there been like, what's been the hardest part for you moving overseas, like away from like family and friends? Was there like any moments where it might have like hit you, or there's been like some really like tough times while being away?
Definitely, yeah. I think going over and also getting injured, it really
true.
I didn't really know how to handle that.
Yeah. And
only recently I've started to realize like it's okay. Like this is sport, this is what happens. You really just got to accept it. Like at the time I was so terrible at accepting it. I was like, what have I done? Like it was all, I wasn't prehabbing properly, or I didn't do this properly. But as soon as I accepted it and just thought this is going to happen, it could happen again, I just need to control what's in my controls. Yeah. What
happened with the injury? Was that because you got ruled out of like the first game of the Olympics too, eh?
Yeah, so I got injured in Utah at training, and
who did studs up to the new person?
Yeah,
was it basically that?
Oh, kind of, nah, a little bit. It was a bit of a
Definitely was.
Sorry, it was a bit of a bad tackle. At training, and then it was kind of like I had 4 weeks to get to the Olympics and rehab. So I rehabbed really hard so I could make it there, and got to France and was still kind of working on my rehab. Then first game I did my other ankle.
Was your other ankle?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
See, it's funny now, but obviously at the time it was kind of tough. But yeah, happens. It's sport.
Damn. And when I had TJ Petinara on the pod, he was talking about when he again broke his ankle. And I think it was pretty early, like in his career at the Canes, and he mentioned that like that was a massive opportunity for him to realize like his image and identity isn't just TJ Petinara, the rugby player. Like he's actually a person, not just a person that plays a sport.
Yeah.
How have you sort of like grappled with your own like identity outside of Macey Fraser, you know, the footballer?
Yeah. I think that actually came to me when I moved away from home. I think definitely growing up and playing around high school and that sort of time, I was like, I'm a football player. That's what I am. That's like what people know me for. And when I came to Wellington, I kind of discovered that I don't know. I don't actually know what it was, but I found other sides to myself, and I was like, I love the beach. I love reading. Yeah,
and all those other things. And sometimes it takes like a bit of a pause, like an injury, for you to really find those areas of your life. Yeah. When it comes to like the Olympics, like that is insane. Like making the team and heading over to France earlier this year. What's the like experience like as a player or as an athlete at the Olympic Games? Can you shine any light on like the good, the bad, the ugly? I've heard the beds are shit. Like they're cardboard beds.
We didn't actually stay in the at the Olympic venue.
Oh right, true.
What is it called? Yeah.
No idea.
Because we went and we didn't play a game in Paris. We were outside of Paris, so we didn't get to go to the opening ceremony or anything. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was still awesome. Like we got to play at Lyon's home stadium, which was insane. Yeah, we played against France. I was injured, but I got to swap shirts with Ahmadine Henry, who's like a football legend who I played at Utah with. But yeah, Olympics was crazy. It's always amazing going away with the Football Ferns and representing your country. So yeah. And to say I went to an Olympics is just cool.
Yeah, you're gonna get like the little like
no,
Olympic tattoo?
No.
Surprised you don't have it on your arm or something, eh?
No, I'm sorry, I won't be getting that.
I feel like there's like the classic, eh? If you go to the Olympics, you need the tattoo. Yeah, it's like logging a run on Strava. It's
they
like,
have it. They like at the what is it called? Where they stay at the Olympics, they have tattoo artists who do it.
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty
true.
Cool.
So they actually usually get it at the Olympics.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Crazy. Why do you not want to get one? On your forehead.
I don't know. I wouldn't get one. Yeah.
True. Fair enough. Be different.
Yeah. I like to show the other side of me, not the sometimes.
Yeah. And obviously at the Olympics as well, there was that whole like drama with was it Canada? Like flying drones over your training pitch?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, what happened there?
Well, I was just oblivious. Like I'm whenever I play football, I like can't hear outside noise. One of the girls was like, "It's a drone." And I looked up, I couldn't even see it.
True.
But yeah, there was definitely a drone, and suddenly the police escorts were chasing someone down the road. Yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, crazy.
It's insane. So it was it like one of the Canadian like coaches or like training staff? They just like spying on you guys basically.
Yeah, trying to get our tactics.
That's nuts. Eh? Like how do you think you can get away with that like in Olympic Games?
I know. Apparently they've done it before as well. Like the boys. I don't know.
True.
It's so random.
I'd expect it from the Aussies, not the Canadians. Far out. And yeah, like did you like what was the reaction from like the squad when it was happening? Were you guys like, nah, fuck this?
Well, at the time we weren't really sure if it was just like some random or Canada. But yeah, we all got on the bus and were like, what if it is them? Like, do we win the game?
Yeah, you'd think they'll like forfeit them or something, eh?
Yeah, nah. Yeah, it was pretty random. Like, yeah.
Was the match pretty like heated after that?
Honestly, no.
Nah?
It was, yeah. I mean, I wasn't on the field for very long.
Yeah. Oh, was that the game where you injured yourself?
Yeah. But yeah, I think it was pretty chill. Yeah.
True. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, like I'm keen to go back to like the differences in like the US compared to NZ. Yeah, like has there been anything like culture, like from a Utah culture, like anything specifically that's just been like really like taking you by surprise?
I think the friendliness, like Americans aren't afraid to come up to you in the cafe and be like, hey, where are you from?
True.
Yeah, like whenever I'm out somewhere and someone hears me talking, they'll be like, are you from Australia?
Do you get that really often with like your accent?
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I noticed. And in terms of the football, it's these girls are athletes. Like the tempo's a lot higher, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but it's awesome.
What's like your standard week look like training over there? Like if you go sort of Monday to game day, like what's your usual schedule?
So we'll train 5 times a week, game on, and then a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I want to say like 4 times gym. We get there, eat breakfast together. We'll do prehab stuff like in the gym, go out to training, come back. We either gym or we eat, and then on one of the days a week we'll do another session out in the field,
Mm-hmm.
or it's recovery in the saunas and the ice bath. Yeah.
They must have awesome facilities there.
Yeah, I'm super lucky.
Do they pay for like your accommodation and stuff as well, or?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got you in like a nice 6-bedroom mansion somewhere?
No, definitely not.
Is it more like sort of apartment styles?
Yeah, just a little apartment.
Oh,
yeah.
epic. That's so cool. And like, has the whole crew been like really welcoming for you as well?
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
I'm so lucky that I got the offer from Utah. They've been amazing. Like all the staff there, I couldn't have asked for anything more from them. Yeah.
It's amazing. And like, when did you first like fall in love with like football? Obviously your brothers play.
Yeah.
Was there like a moment where you like your first memory of playing footy?
Yeah. I remember I was in this team called the Gold Gangsters.
Gold Gangsters. I think my first team was like the Tick Terrors or something.
Yeah.
Like, who names them?
I love it. Yeah, I remember playing in the Gold Gangsters and
Gold Gangsters.
and just like dribbling around all the boys and scoring heaps of goals. There wasn't a lot of girls playing when I was playing, which was probably a good thing. It probably pushed me harder, but I remember that, and games in the backyard with my 2 brothers where I would just get pushed over and you probably end up crying and going inside.
True. Were they pretty, like, do you think without your brothers, like they really helps you like build your competitiveness?
100%. Yeah. It was like if you had to stay in the game, and if you left and went inside, you would get like shamed. You'd be like, give her up. Like,
really? And you just hear it for ages.
Yeah. It was always Luke though. Sorry, Luke. I'm exposing you.
That's so good. And like, what sort of games do you do? Just like one-on-one or? Yeah,
well, it would be one of them with me.
Yeah.
I was probably like if I was on your team, it was like worse. Now that I think of it, like I was probably the liability.
True. You're like, oh, someone has to go for Macey. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's so good. So like, is most of your like early memories just like playing footy with your brothers then?
Yeah. I'd play football with them, and then in the afternoon, I'd ask Dad if we could go to the park. We lived like 2 minutes from this park, and there was like a castle, and it was bricks, and it had like windows, which is just like a hole.
Yeah.
And Dad would be like, see if you can kick it in there.
Ah, true.
And
that's nice.
we'd do that over and over again. He'd teach me how to do an outside the foot pass.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where it all started, at the castle.
At the castle. It's such a Kiwi thing, eh? Like a castle at a park.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Oh, that's so cool. So you like you were like really into it. Like there was no like, it's all right, I enjoy it on Saturday, but you were like pretty obsessive over it from a young age.
Growing up, I was definitely, I loved it. I wanted to be like my brothers. I wanted to be like Dad. Mum was a goalkeeper, so I can't say I wanted to be like her. But yeah, I would, every Saturday was me watching my brothers, and then my dad play for the Masters or something.
Nice, classic.
So yeah, football crazy family. I definitely went through a period in like my teens where I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Kind of fell away from it for a bit, but yeah, I'd say I'm grateful to Paul Temple for kind of bringing me back, and
bring you back into it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think in like New Zealand we can do to just like expand like women's football more, and just like women's sports in general? Like, it'll be interesting from like your perspective as well. You know, like what are like, how can we just get more people just behind it? Like, I think the FIFA World Cup in NZ was like such a sick opportunity.
Yeah.
And like selling out, you know, Sky Stadium, like backing our girls. It was sick. So it's like the opportunity is there. Like people do enjoy the sport. It just doesn't get like the same platform that the men's do.
Yeah, 100%. This is a good question, and I wish I had something to be like, we need to do this.
You can do X, Y, Z.
Yeah, I think something that'll be cool is when Auckland get a women's team, and it'll be like the derby for the men's.
True, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's happening next year. They're getting a women's.
Nice.
I want to say.
Yep.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think that'll be huge. Having that rivalry in New Zealand
100%.
and more female idols for little girls to
Yep.
see live and look up to.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I think like that rivalry between Auckland and the Knicks, that's just sort of like, I don't know, creates so much more momentum behind football in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's awesome to see. And I just don't think you even get that same rivalry in rugby like in New Zealand, which is great. Yeah, with the with like women's football as well. Do you need to take that? You're right.
No, do not disturbing. Sorry.
Oh, nice. No, all good. I've had that happen to me heaps. Yeah, like have you seen any like massive changes to how sort of women's football is received in New Zealand since you first started?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think the Phoenix women's was huge. Just having that team and little girls to actually go down to games and watch. And I think also social media is just so important because it's what all kids are on these days, and getting like those videos out there. Have you seen Petone FC? I think they do it really well. Their social media is like, it's just cool. Like they put stuff out on TikTok, Instagram. It's like question videos, and even there's like an Auckland account team that does it as well. And I even find myself like watching them. I'm just like, why do I care about this? But I do, and I think that's important for women's teams to start doing, and so just little girls can see and you get interested in it.
Yeah. Has there been any like particular like moments, like interactions that you've had with like young girls that have, I don't know, like stayed with you, that you can still like recall?
Yeah, I was lucky. I had a few big fans at Phoenix who I would see every weekend at my games.
Sweet,
and yeah, honestly, it lifted me up. Like when times were hard at Phoenix where I was feeling a bit low or lost in confidence, these girls would always show up and they'd have signs like,
that's epic.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
Yeah, there must be such a cool feeling to like know that, I don't know, you're that player for them, you know?
Yeah, grateful.
It's crazy. It's epic. And you've obviously got a pretty massive following on like TikTok as well. Like when did all those like juggling sort of videos, when you start doing that?
That started when I was younger too, and I remember my brothers used to juggle. Luke would get so frustrated.
Really?
Yeah, and I would kind of watch him and be like, oh, I want to be able to do that too. And anyway, I remember Dad filmed me doing I can't remember what trick it was, and I was like, oh, maybe I should keep doing that, and I kept like filming and showing him, and then I just put it out one day, and didn't stop. I got some cool opportunities from it, so yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and like how do you navigate like all the like creepy guys and the DMs and stuff, and like because I've seen even on your TikTok like videos, there's some like really left field strange comments.
Honestly, I don't really look through my comments. I kind of just post and then
good. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. My friends definitely have told me some whack things about my comments. But I try not to spend too much time on social media because some people are just wild on there.
100%, very true. Like, and I guess as well, like, how do you find being like a professional athlete? Is there anything that like normal, ordinary folks just wouldn't understand around like, just the schedule, like the intensity? Is there anything in particular that like people just might not understand around life about being a professional athlete?
Yeah, there's probably lots. I mean, being a professional athlete, I think it comes with like the status and that, oh, you're professional. And I don't know, like I said before, when I was growing up and thinking I want to be a professional player, I thought it was this big thing. It's you're just you're another person.
Yeah.
And on the weekend, there's a big crowd, but I guess in the week, like, you're just you're another person going through your week, going through training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's we're just having this talk before the podcast actually, and it's almost like social media has made like athletes just way more accessible, because like back in the day there'd be like no social media to follow so and you'd only see like that short snippet of them like playing like football or rugby, and you'd be like, whoa, they must just be this, like, you put them on such a pedestal. And I think like social media has sort of made people's lives like a lot more sort of accessible and more visible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Macey? What's like your next sort of like 2 to 3 years looking like?
So I have 2 more seasons in Utah, which I'm really looking forward to. I want to try go injury free.
Touch wood. You got this.
Touch wood. Yeah, just have a good season. Most importantly, enjoy it. Love what I'm doing, and yeah, that's it.
Have you got any like teams that you'd love to play for in the future?
I've always supported Liverpool. So.
Yeah, would they're like a dream of yours?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But right now, it's a blessing to be in the NWSL. So I just want to perform well for Utah now and see where that takes me.
That's epic. That's cool. How did you first like get into supporting Liverpool as well? Is it like a funny story there?
No, my family have supported Liverpool. My dad, his dad, and I watched Steven Gerrard and was like, I want to be like him. That's why my favorite number's 8. Not that I have it in my teams. Or I did. It was at Olympics. I was 8, but
true. Nice.
Yeah.
Man.
Hopefully, I can pick up that number in the future.
That's so funny. I remember when I was like probably 5, my mum's friend got me like a Liverpool shirt. When I was like 5, brought it home. And that was number 8, and it said Noah on it, and that's how like 8's also my favorite number. It was because of getting that football shirt.
That's awesome.
It's crazy, eh? That's awesome. Well, yeah, we've got some like quick fire questions as well. But before we sort of wrap up, is there anywhere where people can sort of keep in touch with you and your mahi? Instagram.
Macey Fraser.
Nice. We'll chuck a link in the description below. Macey, what brings you true happiness?
Friends and family. Nice. Spending time with them. Yeah.
What is the meaning of life?
This is a deep question.
I know. I always say quick fire, and they're like really philosophical.
Yeah, how do you answer that shortly? I guess to do what you're here for, your purpose, and yeah, be happy, make others happy. Yeah.
Advice you wish you knew about when you were younger?
I would probably say it's not that deep. Like, enjoy things. Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just do it.
Yeah.
What does legacy mean to you?
Legacy, what you leave behind, what people think of you when you're gone. I'd hope mine's kindness and the love people feel when they're around me. Yeah.
Nice. That's beautiful. If you could change one thing in New Zealand, what would this be?
I'd probably say more like, I don't want to say mental health, but like more stuff in schools about like emotions and how you like, I don't really know how to say this.
How you like navigate like those feelings and
yeah, something more. I don't want to be like spiritual, but yeah, I think it's really important for young people to know that like I took things so heavy growing up, and I really overthought everything. And I think it's just important for kids to know like it's okay, and
100%.
everything will be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, young people have got it fucking tough at the moment, eh? Like
social media.
Yeah, social media, like just the cost of everything. And expectations that like society puts on them. Like, yeah, I look at even like kids, what they go through now and the sort of stuff they have to juggle versus like even what it was like for me, like, 9 years ago. It's just like worlds apart.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
Tough for the kids.
It's tough for the kids. What do you believe is the main thing that is holding back young people in New Zealand?
Imposter syndrome, not believing they can do things, having the courage to take risks, and
Amen. We do have a nice pair of sunnies for you as well from
my
Moana Road.
gosh.
So these are yours. Hopefully
Thank you so much.
cool bit of Kiwi culture to bring back to the States with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll finish up with a quote. It's quite short. The pessimist sees risks in every opportunity. The opportunist sees opportunity in every risk.
I love that.
Cheers, Macey. Thank you.
Thanks
jumping
so
on.
much.